everyone, I am Narmada, a doctoral student at Center for Photonics and Computational Imaging, Institute of Physics, University of Tartu, Estonia. In our research center, we focus on developing new imaging technologies. In this video, I am going to share about our recent research work on Spatial Ensemble Mapping for Coded Aperture Imaging tutorial. So first of all, why can't we get sharp images over a large depth? It is because improving the lateral resolution by increasing numerical aperture improves also axial resolution. This has been a big challenge in imaging systems. My colleagues have addressed these problems in the past and found solutions. Some solutions developed by them allow the above flexibility to tune one resolution with respect to the other before recording. Recently, two techniques were developed by our group, namely Inches and Pegasus, for tuning axial resolution independent of lateral resolutions post-recording. However, both techniques require several camera shots. To solve this, we developed a new method using coded aperture imaging and spatial ensemble mapping. This approach allows us to tune axial resolution independent of lateral resolutions post-recording with a single camera shot. So in SEM, different beams are mapped to a different lateral locations in the image sensor. By this simple yet fundamental change, the imaging properties can be made flexible. The goal of the SEM is to have a different strength of one or more imaging characteristics available as a component of a parameter, and one or more component can be combined depending upon the requirements to obtain on-demand imaging characteristics. In this study, three diffractive elements, namely two diffractive lenses and one diffractive hexagon, were combined using the TAP GSA to obtain a single phase only diffractive element with minimal scattering. The diffraction patterns from the above three elements were positioned at a different location. A diffractive hexagon has a long axial correlation length, whereas a diffractive lens has a short correlation length. Therefore, by combining diffraction pattern with a different strength, a desired correlation length can be engineered, and this can be done completely post-recording from a single camera shot. So to design the mask, in this study, a recently developed algorithm called transport of amplitude into a phase based on Gerg-Berg-Sexton algorithm, or we can say a TAP GSA, is used. In this algorithm, the magnitude of the complex function is transferred into the phase to obtain a phase-only function equivalent of a complex function. This algorithm consists of two steps. In the first step, the phase function of the diffractive hexagon, Fresnel zone plate 1 and Fresnel zone plate 2 combined with the unique linear phases to map every diffraction pattern to a predefined area on image sensor. The resulting three masks are summed to obtain a complex function. The resulting complex function is numerically propagated from the mask plane using a Fresnel transform to the sensor plane, and the resulting complex amplitude is the ideal function at the sensor plane. The TAP GSA begins at the mask plane with a uniform amplitude and a phase extracted from the phase of the ideal complex function. The resulting complex amplitude at the mask plane is propagated to the sensor plane using a Fresnel transform, and the resulting amplitude is replaced by the ideal amplitude calculated at the sensor plane for the ideal complex function at the mask plane. And then the resulting phase after Fresnel transform is partly replaced by the ideal phase. The ratio between the number of the pixels replaced to a total number of pixels in a matrix is the degree of freedom. This process is iterated until the phase function in the mask plane converges to an optimal one, as shown in the figure. The coded phase mask is used to record intensity distribution of point spread function and the object intensity distribution, and the above intensity distribution are mapped to a different regions of the image sensor. As it's seen, here we created an unusual relation between the area of the image sensor and the axial resolution. When the area of the recording is increased, the axial resolution improves and vice versa. This relation can be on demand depending upon the requirements. So for the image reconstruction, a recently developed computational algorithm, Lucy-Richardson-Rosen algorithm, was used. This algorithm has been described already in our previous videos. So now about the simulation study of the masks, it was carried out in MATLAB. As shown in the figure, in the first row, phase images of the three elements, a diffractive hexagon, Fresnel zone plate 1 and the Fresnel zone plate 2 are shown. In the second row, the magnitude of the CM is illustrated using a three different method. First one is the sum of the phase functions of the diffractive hexagon and the Fresnel zone plates. In the second, by random multiplexing, and in the last, the third one is the tap GSA technique. So, in the third row shows the phase images of the CM designed by the three approaches. First, by the sum of the phase functions of the diffractive hexagon, Fresnel zone plate 1 and the Fresnel zone plate 2, and then by the random multiplexing, and the last by the tap GSA method. Finally, the fourth row depicts the diffraction pattern generated by the masks. So in this row, the first is the complex CM, then the CM designed by the random multiplexing, and in the last, the CM designed using a tap GSA. After that, axial characteristics were investigated. The axial behavior is analyzed by simulating the IPSFs for different axial positions ZS. The axial correlation is processed to evaluate the resolution. The normalized curves show a gradual improvement in axial resolution from the mask 1 to mask 6. The best resolution is achieved using a specific mask that optimize the contribution of the axial correlations length from a different recording areas. Now I want to discuss about the simulation results. For the simulation study, two smiley objects are selected with a separation of 20 cm between them. The images of the simulated IPSFs, intensity of the regions of interest, and the reconstruction results for mask 1, mask 2 and mask 4 are shown to observe the effects of the axial resolution. As the axial resolution increases from mask 1 to mask 4, the images of the object 2 located outside the plane of the interest become more blurred and weaker. However, object 1, which is located in the plane of the interest, remain focused across all the three mask cases. The simulation shows that with the increased axial resolution, the image of the object 1 stays clear, while the object 2 image weakens due to the diminishing strength of the out of focus plane. Then about the experimental setup of this research work. In this, we used a red LED collimated beam of wavelength 660 nanometer, which is controlled by an iris, passed through a polarizer which is aligned according to the active axis of the SLM. The objects are critically illuminated by a refractive lens of a focal length 5 cm. This light is incident on an SLM where a phase-only coded mask created by combining two Fresnel zone plates of focal length 16 cm and a diffractive hexagon with a period of 187 micrometer is displayed for generating diffraction spots on an image sensor. Now let us discuss about the experimental results. The experimental involves recording two objects at different depth, ZS 5 cm and another one is 5.4 cm. Using a 50 micrometer pinhole to record the point spread functions and the intensity distribution of the object recording to regions of interest, as shown in the figure. The recorded IPSFs and the IROI are processed using the LR array for object reconstructions. Two masks, mask 1 diffractive hexagon only and the mask 2 diffractive hexagon plus Fresnel zone plates are applied. We observed that in the figure, mask 2 showing a better axial resolution due to a shorter correlation length. The experimental results validate the Sen-Kai theory, showing a tunable axial resolution post-recording with a lateral resolution unaffected by the mask. So in this research, a simple yet useful technique called SEM has been introduced in a Kai for tuning the axial resolution independent of a lateral resolution post-recording from a single camera shot. Like every new technique, there is a catch. The above flexibility comes at a cost, which is in a field of view. Since the ensemble mapping shares the area of the image sensor between a different distribution, the field of view of the imaging system is decreased. However, given the axial resolution tunability is obtained at a high temporal resolution, the decrease in the field of view is not a significant disadvantage. We hope that the new imaging possibilities present in the studies will benefit different areas such as holography, microscopy, and computational imaging. So now I want to give my heartfelt gratitude to my supervisor, Professor Vijay Kumar Anand, and my colleagues, Agnes, Shiva, and Dr. Vipin Tiwari for their valuable contribution. Thank you for listening and stay tuned with us to learn about the more new computational imaging techniques. Thank you.